What's up, everybody? I just wanted to give a little update on what's happening with me since I know some of you guys are probably wondering why I haven't been posting any recent videos or much at all lately. Nothing, not much live. I had one live not too long ago. Not much other pickup, delivery, or whatever kind of activity that I might normally post. So, figured I'd give you a little update. If you might notice, I'm not in my normal truck. I'm in a loaner truck still. It's been kind of an ongoing saga with mine. One thing or after another. It's really the same problem. It's just trying to get the problem fixed. Trying to keep that in the middle. Anyway, yeah. So story time here. So keep you guys updated on what's been going on over the last month, really. I had a load that delivered in Northern Cal and Newark, and then had two more drops in Vernon, California, right before Christmas, and then I put my truck in the shop right after that. Primarily because of problem with the MIL light being on and intermittent stop engine warnings. Which was mostly happening during higher fuel demand situations. Um, Now, MIL light, if you're not really sure what that is, that's a lot like a check engine light, but it's more specifically emissions related in a way. Usually it's not as urgent as a check engine light would be, but it's very similar. It looks just like a check engine light, but without the check in, the engine, uh, or the engine icon will, on a check engine light will normally have either a check or the word check or what else? A couple of different types of etc. Anyway, MIL light is just a plain amber engine light, and that's it. But anyway, so I turned it in. I took it to the dealer in Fontana, the KW dealer, and they had a COVID outbreak, so they were not able to look at it in a timely manner. All January 1st comes around, and they still haven't done much of anything to it. So I told them I can't keep sitting here not making money. There's no loaner trucks available. Just put it back together so I can drive it. And my plan was get it back to our yard in Tulsa, or Sapulpa actually, which is close to Tulsa. And I would put it in the shop there, and then plan on going to a loaner truck at the yard so I can at least do some kind of loads while I'm waiting on something to actually get done with it. So I got the truck back. Had its problems, whatever, and even ran on paper logs. Ended up getting to our yard, and I was in a loaner truck for about a week or whatever it was. Basically, did kind of an out and back kind of route. One route from our yard to, oh no, the loaner truck. The first one I had, I completed delivery of the load that I took to there with my own truck. That one went to O'Fallon, Missouri, and then the reload after that picked up in Olathe, Kansas, and then ended up in Southern Cal, I think. Yeah, it's been there's so much going on. Anyway, ended up getting a reload back to Sapulpa, and by then my truck was quote unquote done, but it really wasn't. Because as I took it to the dealer in Tulsa, because the yard we only had one PACCAR tech actually at the yard, and had too much going on. So our shop, yeah, our service writer, one of our service writers told me just take it to the Rush dealer in town. So that's where I got done. I had other work done. I needed the tail light wire harness was bad. I had a bad headlight. Actually, two bad headlights, but they still. Anyway, the mill light problem, which they thought was just going to be a fuel filter issue, which I was kind of hoping it would be that too, because I could tell from my fuel water separator that the fuel level was starting to get up there, not not up to that line at the top saying if you change fuel filters, but it was starting to get there. So, wishful thinking, maybe it'd be the filters. That's an easy fix. Um, anyway, got it all done, and I start driving. I do another load with my own truck, and now they have me kind of going back and forth between Sapulpa or the general area to the Phoenix area for the most part. So I had the load going. I picked up at right there in the yard, if I remember right, and took it to Chandler and Tolleson, Arizona. Chandler being on the southeast side of Phoenix and Tolleson over on the west side. I remember when I was taking the Holbrook to Mesa route, the state highways, 87, 377, 277, 260, and 87. I mean, not 887, but 87. Down to Mesa worked my way down. I did do a video on that portion, or at least on that section of it. I think if I remember, I posted it. But yeah, I was having problems with my truck again. The same mill light came back on now along the way there, and started to get the stop engine warnings again. It's like, great, this didn't fix it. Okay, so common thing with PACCAR engines. When they do fuel filter changes, I was told it's very easy to accidentally damage the O-rings when they're installing the filters. And when damage O-rings, it causes air. It can allow air to get into the fuel system, and it can cause it to kind of cavitate in a way, and and cause the insufficient fuel into the cylinder. So I was hoping, maybe that's the cause, but I need to take it back. I can't keep driving it like this. So I made the deliveries, told them I need something else getting back to the yard because I have the same problem come back. So they give me, I think Yuma. Was it Yuma? Yeah, I want to say a Yuma reload, and took it back in that direction. I can't remember where I delivered that one to, but so be it. Get my truck dropped back off again, and they start troubleshooting it. And then I go to another loaner truck, which is actually the one that I'm in right now, and start running some more loads with it. Just trying to keep running and keep making money and all that kind of stuff. Keep occupied. And that one, I think, was another load to the Phoenix area, if I remember right. I've been to Phoenix a few times recently, so I think it was the Phoenix. Yeah, U.S. Foods in Phoenix, I believe, is where I went. Yeah. And then but I'd been I've been waiting for them. I sat for a couple of days before I got rolling, because I was waiting to see what they were going to find out first, and hopefully find something quick. But didn't happen quite as quickly as I was hoping for. No surprise. But they were still. They were keeping pretty busy with it. It was just time consuming. So anyway, I got to where I'm not going to have a truck to drive over at all, and so I was like, I need another rental truck. So one of our DMs got me an Uber ride back to the yard, because I was in Tulsa by the staying in the hotel right by the dealer, and get an Uber back to the yard, and I get a loaner truck, and once I'm set up with that, I go back to the dealer so I can transfer out my stuff. At least a small amount of stuff from my truck to this truck to get by with, and go back to the yard, go get another load, and that's the one I ended up taking to Phoenix. And I think it was Saturday when I picked up the load. I think it was right there in the yard. Delivered it maybe Monday or something. And then Monday night, I took another load from our Tolleson drop yard over to San Bernardino, delivered it to the Stater Brothers distribution center there, which is actually a walking distance from our drop yard. So I ended up just going straight to our drop yard. I didn't have time really to work with to personal convey back up to my house, get the right amount of rest, and come back down. So it's like, just to make sure I got the rest I wanted, I just went ahead and stayed at a yard and then just delivered. Anyway, that same afternoon, when after I made the Stater Brothers delivery, I got another reload going from Colton to Ochalata, Oklahoma. And now on my way to Ochalata, I know everybody in the area there calls it Ochalata. I get it. I pronounce it Ochalata. Actually, I'd like to know what the proper pronunciation is from somebody who actually speaks the correct language that it's from. Just because that's the way I am. I don't know if that's a Cherokee name or something else. I know there are a lot of Cherokees in Oklahoma. Maybe my buddy John Hawk 6, who's a Cherokee himself. Maybe he can provide some insight. I don't know what the linguistic rules are of Indian languages, so I just kind of assume they're similar to Spanish and Italian, and those are Latin-based languages that are where vowels only have one sound to them. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just so you guys know, I know that most of you guys call it Ochalata. I call it Ochalata for my own reason until I know for sure what the proper linguistic rule is for whatever language it's originated from, which I assume is Cherokee or something. All right. Anyway, get up there to Ochalata. Well, actually, on my way there, Tuesday afternoon, I call the dealer back up. Hey, what's going on with my truck? I hadn't heard anything, so and it had been 2 days of possibility of them getting some kind of progress on it. And I said, "Oh yeah, we still been waiting on JCT to approve the repair work or to approve the troubleshooting that we want to do." So the troubleshooting they wanted to do was to check the fuel pumps for functionality and make sure they're working properly, whatever. And then if those were okay, they wanted to troubleshoot look at all the fuel injectors, and because they had reason to believe that it might have been one of the fuel injectors that was the bad problem. But they had to send a quote for like $1,000 or something like that to do further $900,000 whatever to do further troubleshooting. And it got held up. So I was like, well, why is it getting held up? And this was the exact same information that you guys gave me Saturday before I went to the loaner truck. And so I called JCT up, our shop people there, and asked them, hey, what's the story with this? What do you know about this? And the guy I talked to, he said he didn't, he hadn't been involved in any discussion about it, but he did see the email from Rush basically asking for authorization to do the troubleshooting. So he asked me if I'd authorize the work. I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. So the process is that, whatever, and they get to doing their further troubleshooting. Finally, I'm still on my way over from Colton. I think I picked that up Tuesday? Yeah, it had to have been Tuesday, or somewhere on there. I don't know. Maybe it went Tuesday, I think. Whatever. The 26th, whatever day of the week that was. Anyway, Thursday comes up. On the last leg here. Going from, where did I start? Santa Rosa? No, Russell's Travel Center. Yeah. Russell's Travel Center, right by the New Mexico-Texas line, and on my way from there up to Ochalata on that last leg, it was in the afternoon. I called the dealer back up. Hey, what's going on? And I go, yeah, we're actually waiting on. We sent an estimate to JCT, but we're still waiting on authorization. And so I call our shop back up again and talk to one of the service writers again, I said, oh yeah, they sent us an estimate for like $5,800+ for repair work, and they said they found the number 6 injector bad, and they wanted to basically, and he said it was going to be about a 4-hour job and all that, and road test after that. So I get my delivery done, come back to the yard, do a 10-hour break, and then I kind of sit around through the day hoping that progress was going to be made until I find out that they were getting held up by the approval process. Which normally isn't a big deal, but my maintenance account's in the hole right now because so many things have gone wrong with this truck over time, and it doesn't help that some of these problems I've had to pay for troubleshooting that, yeah, on multiple occasions for the same problem. So this is a problem with the truck maintenance industry. For those of you guys who might be mechanics, I don't like having to pay extra money for hours of troubleshooting that is not even going to fix the problem. Get the job done right the first time. I don't care if it takes a little bit of extra time to, but it helps to be thorough. And remember, I used to be an aircraft mechanic myself, and I know the importance of that. Get the job done right the first time. Don't make me come back 2, 3, 4 times to get the same problem looked at before it finally gets, before the right problem is found and fixed. So, not happy about that. And I can actually tolerate this truck's auto shift. I'm not a fan of auto shift, obviously, but certain little nuances with this one, uh, I can tolerate it a lot more than I think than other trucks for some reason. The other auto shift trucks, but I still like my 10-speed back, and more importantly, I want all of my other stuff back that is on my truck that I did not bring with me, because I'm not going to keep transferring every damn thing I have while my truck's in a repair bay at a dealer and keep making all these different trips back and forth from my truck to a loaner truck, and then have to go right back through all this crap again once I get my truck back. So it's really frustrating. I really only have just the bare minimum of clothes, like two changes of clothes, all the stuff I need for my pre-trips, pretty much it, and then one thing like a pair of tin snips for cutting seals, which isn't going to help me if I have a cable seal, but at least if I have any other kind of normal seal, at least I can cut it. That's about it. And so it's a real inconvenience for me being in this truck. Not that I really hate this particular truck, although there's certain things about this truck that definitely make me think, like, I like my truck better because of, and it's not just the transmission. But, don't need to go into all the details there. I'll just say I like my truck more as a whole. I didn't think I would like the certain setups of Peterbilt more than 579 more than this thing, but because past experience with Freightliners, I like the arrangement of it. But this one in particular, the last two I've had, this one and the one before it, I could go for a little bit different setup. It's decent. I'm not used to it, I guess. Not normal for me. So I'd probably like this if I just got time to adjust to it. Like I say, the rest of my stuff is in my own truck. When I picked up that load in Colton, this was a good example of why I'd like to have my own damn truck. Because I'm picking up my load in Colton, and my right rear drive tire on this truck was going flat. It actually was flat, pretty much. I saw that it was low on a pre-trip, like I think earlier, the day before, whatever. But I thought it was just the way the truck was sitting, and I couldn't find my tire pressure gauge. I swore I brought it, but for some reason I couldn't see it, because normally I keep all my pre-trip stuff right there on the left side of my driver's seat. So that way when I get out of the truck, it's right there. If I'm standing outside the truck and reaching inside, it's right there. I can just grab it, and start doing my stuff. So I don't, but my tire pressure gauge was not there, and like I say, I have the bare minimum: thermometer, tire pressure gauge, gloves, tin snips, and that's pretty much it. Now, my truck, my Peterbilt, I have a Glad Hand operated tire servicing hose that you can get from a lot of truck stops. Most all truck stops sell them. They're only about $30, $40. They really come in handy. I didn't bring it with me because, like I said, I'm bringing the bare minimum, and I'm not planning to be in this truck that long. Wasn't expecting to have a problem with the drive tire while I'm in this truck. The tires were in really good shape. So fast forward, I'm in Colton, and now yeah, I'm hooking up to my loaded trailer. It's ready to go before I even get there, and yeah, I'm hooked up. Start pre-tripping it. Yeah, I usually always start from the driver's side, start working around to the passenger side. As I'm going up the passenger side, I realized that right rear drive tire was not just a little bit low, but a lot low. Like so low that I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to move this truck with it looking like that. Because now, don't forget, these are super single drive tires we have here at JCT. So if it was just a dual tire, all right, I might be more apt to take it and then just go over to 7-Eleven, the Rialto Travel Center, which is right around the corner, and air it up if nothing else. Because I didn't have my own Glad Hand operated hose. I do own one, I just didn't have it with me. Thankfully, though, I got lucky because a friend of mine was also there picking up a load. He and his girlfriend, they team drive, and because I was already talking to him when I was walking back to my truck with my bills, and he was walking in to get his. And after he got, when I'm hooked up doing my pre-trip, he happens to drive past, starts to drive past me, and so I flag him down and hey Brian, yeah. So he stops and I ask him, hey, you got a Glad Hand operated, Glad Hand tire servicing hose? So yeah, like, okay, awesome. Because I don't have mine. I was wondering if you could. Yeah, and I got a tire that's about flat. So he moved. He parked over off to the side out of the way, and then pulled his out and helped me out with it. Got my tire aired back up. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Hindsight, it was like, God, that was stupid of me to not think about this. But I've used that hose before. He has the exact same kind of hose I have. But now, when we first started airing the tire up, he told me to go back in the truck and set the idle speed up. Okay, in this loaner truck, 2019 Freightliner is what I'm in. The right side of the steering wheel, there's a button with looks like two cascaded windows or something. On the far right side of the right half of the steering wheel. Hit that button, and then that's the button that's used to adjust idle speed. And then you use the up and down arrows on the key buttons on the left side of the steering wheel to adjust the idle speed up and down. Now, adjusting the idle speed up to a higher speed now causes the air compressor to put out, to be more productive, which actually allows the tire to air up a lot faster. Okay, I've always been a little bit reluctant to use my Glad Hand servicing hose because it takes longer than normal. Yeah, so if I hook up to if I air it up at, say, a fuel island, if it's actually a good fuel island hose, unfortunately, a lot of fuel island air hoses put water out with them, which you don't want. Also, a lot of times they're not in good shape. But when they do work, they tend to work better. A lot of times the tire shops at truck stops might have tire servicing hoses on the side of their building or something that you can sometimes pull up to and use as well. Those are faster, so naturally I tend to just go for that. But why I didn't think of that adjusting the idle speed up before, I don't know. It makes perfect sense. It's just, but this is where, hey, I learned something new. And uh, yeah, got the tire up a lot faster, and found out, we found out very quickly when he came over that it had a big nail in it. So I went ahead and, yeah, after I got through picking the load up, went home for a few hours, and then got rolling again. Stopped in Lake Havasu for the night, and went across because the Loves was full when I got there. So I ended up parking in the dirt lot across the street from Love's, kind of between Love's and across from Terrible Herb's gas station there. And did a 10. Actually, as soon as my 8-hour sleeper berth was done, I PC'd across the street and got the tire dealt with while I was on the last part of my 10. And got rolling pretty quickly because they were able to get to me fairly quickly. Not right away, but fairly quickly. Get rolling back out here, and of course, got the load delivered eventually. But now, $5,800 repair bill though. Going back to that, and my maintenance account was already pretty good, a big chunk in the negative because of all these other problems. Now, because it's so far in the hole and it's that large a repair bill, they had to get special permission from one of our head guys upstairs to even do the work. And I was like, great, this isn't going to go well. I'm willing to bet you anything this guy is going to say they're not going to approve the repair work, and they're going to make me upgrade to a new truck or something. And for me, if the truck has collision avoidance on it, it's just flat out no ifs, ands, or buts. That is completely out of the question. I will never drive a truck again with that crap installed on it if I can avoid it. Got no business having that shit on a truck. If you have no business being in a truck, if you need that system to keep you out of trouble. And our brand new 2021 Freightliners we have here all have that system on it. And I guess the newer, starting in 2022, I understand, or something, this stupid federal law is going to mandate that they all come at least equipped with all this collision avoidance and adaptive cruise crap on it. Which I like I said, I hate. This truck does not have that feature, thankfully, but so if it came down, I was looking at exploring options on maybe switching trucks and maybe even permanently going to this one, because I know that this one is at least more likable to me than the other auto shift trucks I've been in. But we have a bunch of KWs sitting in our yard right now. I'm like, well, why the hell are they all sitting there? Like, nobody's leasing them. I think they're all because they're all opting more for the brand new Freightliners instead. As we still have a whole bunch of Freightliners sitting in our yard. But yeah, but then there's like little nuances with subtle differences with the way that auto shifts are set up. So I was even asking our guy who handles the lease picking stuff, truck picking, whatever, if you had anything like on what miles they all had on them, whatever, or like I was asking like some little questions about like how they're set up and all that configured, and told him, I asked him if maybe I could test drive it, and so I can see if it's configured the way I want it. That I'm more willing to lease for. And like, oh hell no. It's like, because no insurance, whatever, not even allowed to leave the lot with it. I'm like, well, that's not good. And because I'm not going to be driving a truck, an auto shift truck, if it won't let me switch between auto and manual mode whenever I want to. And the other loaner truck I was in would allow me to do it sometimes, and then when it did allow me to do it, it would only stay in manual mode for a little bit before it shift back on its own, or to automatic, auto shift mode. And then other times it wouldn't even let me shift the manual or switch the manual mode. At least this truck I can do it when I can select whichever mode I want. Um, I mean, now most of the time I do run auto shift mode in this truck, but specifically with hills, I'd rather have manual mode because one thing I really freaking hate about auto shift is whenever third stage Jake is selected, doesn't matter what gear it's in. When it's third stage Jake selected, it'll automatically try to drop into the lowest gear it is allowed to run at the speed you're currently at. Okay, so I'm in 12th gear, and it's using third stage Jake to try to control me in my speed, but it's obviously not enough. So let's forget about the fact that 11th gear exists. Let's just go ahead and switch down to 10th. Okay, well, now it's more jerky, and now sometimes a lot of these hills, especially these rolling hills, 10th gear is too strong with the Jake brakes, and it's, it actually slows me down too much, and I think that running an 11th gear and having it, alternate between second and third stage or whatever, or whatnot, I think is a more appropriate setup for the situation. Not to mention, there are other times where the IPM system just drives me nuts. But anyway, I don't want to go too long in the weeds about the whole auto shift thing. All right, you guys all know I'm an auto shift hater. I don't have a problem with anybody else. Hey, if auto shift's your cup of tea, great. Not mine, but it's. I mean, I do respect certain things about the auto shift transmission. I actually love the descent mode, but. And again, as the descent mode on this truck, it's like, why do I have to cancel cruise, put my Jake brake lever in the first stage position or any stage position, and then re-engage my cruise to get the descent mode to work properly? Why not just, hey, get rid of this +5 -4 shit when I have my cruise engaged, and then just let it stay like it normally would. Now my truck, I have to completely manually operate the Jake brakes. The switch, both the arm, disarm, and my first, second, and third stage Jake switches are all on my dashboard and not on the paddle. So it's one of the things I do like about these auto shifts. It's on the paddle instead of on the dash. But like I say, I don't know. It just takes getting used to on that part, I would say. So for that reason, I would say this truck is a lot more tolerable than what I recall. But like I said, I still like my manual. I like knowing that the truck is always going to be in what gear I expect it to be in or I want it to be in given the situation. It's not always about saving fuel. Sometimes I want to have the right gear for situation. And sometimes you want to have power right away. I don't want to have to smash the throttle to accelerate out of something, a potentially bad situation, and have this thing sit here and delay before it'll actually react to it. So anyway, that's enough on that. Anyway, but I said they were waiting on. I was waiting on the head guy up there. Not Danny Christner, but one of the head guys upstairs. To give some kind of disposition, whether he was approving or denying. I was just spending my time while I was waiting, looking at options. Just in case he says no, what options do I have? Because one, I've actually considered if I have to upgrade, if I get forced to get out of that truck, then I've actually considered leaving the company so I can go stay in a truck with the manual in it. But on the other hand, I like the company a lot. I have a lot of friends here. I've established a really good friendship, fellowship, and all that kind of rapport with. I have a good rapport with a lot of the people in the office. Several DMs I'm friends with, and even like planners and stuff. And it's a really good family-oriented atmosphere here. And then we do so many damn loads to Southern Cal, where I live, And it's so easy for me to get home, and they run me in that direction so often that it's a really comfortable, happy environment for me. It's like I don't necessarily have to make the most money. Yeah, now this kind of lease program here, it's you're not going to make as much money on a good week as you will with another company, but you also won't lose as much money on the weeks you aren't running. So there's trade-offs. I can also get my truck paid off faster and not have to pay a balloon payment here. So, uh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to go again too much into the weeds with the lease stuff. That'd be a better thing to talk about, and I guess its own discussion. Uh, Spare me the trash talk about leasing and whatever. Yeah, only idiots lease or whatever. Like, why not just get your own truck? Well, okay. Well, maybe I don't want to do it that way. Maybe I like working in a team kind of atmosphere. I'm a retired military. That's all I know. 20 years of working in a team environment, and camaraderie and all that. I like that. I don't necessarily want to be a hermit and like do my own thing and have my own necessarily have my own truck that maybe at some point in time. But like I said, I like this team atmosphere that we have here, and I like the overall work environment here, I guess. Like I say, I've made a lot of good friends here. We got quite a few people who've been with this company for longer than I have, or close to as long as I have, if nothing else. I've been here already about 3 years myself, and I say the morale here overall is pretty good. And my personal needs, it's a great fit for my needs. Might not be great for some other people, but so be it. I say my wants and needs. I'm happy where I'm at, and I want to stay here. And don't want to switch to auto shift, but if it came down to it, I'll do it if push came to shove. But I don't want to, obviously. But yeah, I did put serious thought at one point into leaving for other carriers that I know have manuals still, um, as a possibility if it came down to that. Uh, Ultimately, I don't know. As long as there's no, regardless. Uh, anyway, my the head guy up there, he ended up approving the repair work. Thankfully, I was like so. Oh, I was so relieved. I was like so happy when I found that out. Because I was at my DM, I was sitting right next to my DM when the email came through saying that it was going to be approved. Because I was there talking to her, asking her, "Hey, I don't know which truck to use for my reload. Because I was kind of hoping that mine would be ready, but it got held up by that process. And then saying I don't know if I'm going to be using a loaner truck or if I'm going to have to look at going, upgrading to a new truck and maybe using that one or something, depending on how long that would take." But and then the email came through. Okay, they can go ahead and do it. And then our shop service writer calls me up while I'm sitting there next to my DM and let me know they approved it as well. I'm like, yes. Because I think that's when they also said that it was the number 6 injector that was bad. It's expensive repair. But yeah, I was so relieved. Even though it's going to cost me more because I pay the maintenance on it, um, I'm paying more than what everybody else is expected to with a negative account. So I'm trying to get it paid down faster, but one little bullshit thing after another prevents me from getting it back down, back into the black. But sooner or later, we'll get there. I keep saying jokingly that I'm buying a new truck one part at a time for my own. Anyway, yeah, so I ended up sticking with this truck temporarily, and I ended up going to Arkansas City, Kansas to pick up my reload. Arkansas City, if you're not familiar, I'm sure you're not. Most of you guys aren't, unless you're a JCT driver or someone else in the particularly reefer industry. Um, Okay, Arkansas City, Kansas is just north of the Oklahoma City line. And it's along US 77, and it is just a hair east of I-35. So if you can find I-35 on the map, basically goes up from Oklahoma City to Wichita, Kansas. As soon as you cross into Kansas, go just a little bit east of there, and there's another highway that goes north and south there. That's US 77. Follow that up, and that takes you right into Arkansas City. Up on the north side of Arkansas City is a place called Creekstone Farms. That's where I picked this load up. It's going to Oakland, California. So that's what I'm doing with this. I'm going to be home right now I'm in Holbrook, Arizona, on a 10-hour break, and I'll be home tomorrow for several hours because I expect I'll be there in the afternoon sometime. So, and then I'll probably run sometime Monday from there up to the Oakland area, and just hang out, stay overnight in Oakland probably, and then to go make my delivery the next morning, Tuesday morning, and hopefully be ready right away for a reload. But I do have, I'm running on recap hours now, so I don't know what kind of loads are going to be available to me that are going to get me where I need to be. I don't know if I'm going to have to do a 34 or something along the way, or before picking up a reload. We'll see. Be continued, but hopefully, if all goes well, my next load after this will be something that'll go right back to our yard. And by the time I get back to our yard, I do expect that my own truck will be back up and running and ready for me to pick up. So by that point, I'll be back in position where I can, where I have my phone mount that I use for live streaming. Because that's hard. I have that stuck onto my dashboard on I call it the glare shield because that's what we call it on airplanes. And then my dash cams are still in there, so I can't really do much recording. And I really wish I would have had my dash cams with me because there've been stuff going on here since I've been in this truck. Just tonight. There was a bonehead trucker issue moment that I really wish I would have gotten on camera. Coming into Arizona from New Mexico, the way station over here. Okay, now the way station here on I-40 in Arizona, when you're coming in from New Mexico, it's actually almost 20 miles in from the New Mexico line. But I get up there, and of course my DriveWise or my Qualcomm's telling me DriveWise inspect way station coming up 2 miles, whatever. You see the signs, but there are no signs actually telling you what the station's status is. There's nothing to tell you whether the station's open or closed. But I come through here enough to know from experience that because there are a couple of roadside signs that are in the after the weigh in motion system telling you whether you have to enter or if you can bypass. Now, mind you, if the weigh station is open, I go by what the DriveWise says because there's even a sign saying that you follow your DriveWise. So doesn't matter if my DriveWise says pull in unless closed, but the roadside signs say bypass. That particular way station, I'll go ahead and bypass. But usually, because I know from whenever I come through here at night a lot, and I know most of the time that station's closed. And sure enough, I usually pass by and I can see that the gate is up is across the lane where the scale is at, so you can't even use the scale, and then you have to use the bypass lane. And anyway, coming up on the station, I'm still easily a good 3/4 mile away from it, and I could see way up ahead that the roadside signs there, the light up signs, whatever, are lit up solid with truck bypass way station. Okay, so I'm coming up on a slightly slower truck, and right when I'm about to the point where I'm going to start moving over to pass him, he starts moving over to the left as well. And then I realize why he's moving over. Just not too far past the off-ramp for the way station, there was a truck at a complete dead stop with his four-ways on, or hazard lights for those of you guys who aren't truckers. Complete dead stop right in the middle of the number 2 lane, or the right lane, for those of you guys who don't know what number 2 lane is. And I have a feeling that they stopped because they thought the way station was open and that they accidentally bypassed it and were trying to avoid getting into light, because there's no shoulder there for them to pull to. So I'm guessing that's what he did or something. Yeah. So, and then it didn't help that the guy in front of me was not, okay, I understand slowing down for that guy because it's a serious hazard when you're coming up that fast on someone who's at a dead stop right next to you. But by the time he got around him, he didn't bother to speed up. I think because he was trying to be too nice to the Stevens truck or whatever hell it was that was coming out of the way station. Some of these guys don't know that the station's closed, apparently, and their drive-wise was telling them go in or pre-pass, whatever, and it was closed. Anyway, yeah, as I'm starting to pass by this guy who stopped, I start blowing my air horn, like, for several seconds, like, get the fuck out of there. What the hell are you thinking? You're going to get rear-ended, and even if it's a truck that rear-ends you, whoever rear-ends you is going to get killed. If you guys don't know, if you're in a truck and you rear-end another truck, you're going to be, there's a pretty good chance you're going to die. The guy who got rear-ended he's going to probably feel a pretty damn good jolt, but that trailer is going to hold up a lot better to run a rear-end collision than your tractor is going to. I've seen plenty of cases of these where a tractor trailer rear-ends another tractor trailer or semi, whatever, and the nose of the truck that rear-ended the other one is all the way back to where the sleeper berth bulkhead is at. And so you see that, and there's no way in hell the driver that rear-ended is going to survive with that kind of impact. So very, very dangerous. And then cars end up running under the trailer, even if the ICC bar is installed properly and all that. It can only handle so much force. Like, I can't believe it. And then I'm thinking, all right, well, okay, could this guy have been broke down? Perhaps. Apparently Google thinks I want it. Alright, but I'm watching my rear view mirror now to see what this guy does, and then all of a sudden he starts driving. I'm like, so he wasn't just broke down, he was just there like a freaking idiot, stopping in the middle of the lane to, hey, I'm an idiot, I accidentally bypassed. Like, you don't freaking stop in the middle of a damn highway with the 75 mile an hour speed limit. Unless you're disabled or crashed, you got no business stopping there. I cannot believe people are that stupid. Oh my God. Then I had another case when I was on my way out to Ochelata with that load out of Colton. I was just getting into Kingman the other day. It's climbing the hill just before you get to US 93 northbound, or exit 48, or also known as the exit where the TA truck stop is at. It's just kind of a steep hill, canyon kind of thing that you climb just before getting there. Going up that hill, I'm probably doing about 45. I think I have what's my load weigh? About, I think it was about a 30,000 or so pound load. I forget. Yeah, it was probably about 30, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it was slow enough where I was doing about 45-ish up that hill, and there was another truck driver passing me up. Not putting past me, but not really fast past me either. It was another trucker, of course, and he was, I would say, doing 50-ish. I look over to my left to see him passing me, and, look at each other, and then all of a sudden I look right, and now there's another truck on the right shoulder passing me, like flying by me at like 65 miles an hour or something, up the hill, right there on the shoulder, going around me. It's like, what the hell? What a freaking idiot. Okay, this guy, now, I'm going to call him out because this is, if you're that stupid, if you're that careless about someone else, about safety, you never know what could happen. I could have drifted off into that direction, and that could have been a big accident. The company's name was GCS. I don't know what the letters stood for, but the back of the trailer had a very large GCS on it, and I think I saw GCS something on the truck as he was very quickly passing by me. So no chance in hell of me being able to read that because he went by so fast. Goes blowing by everybody there, and then next thing I know, he's only like about a quarter of a mile or so up ahead for a little bit. So like all that for that, you do something stupid like that, but just because you can't handle waiting for this truck to pass me, uh, take that. The stupid risks that people take, it just amazes me. So those are at least a couple of issues where I would have really liked to have had my dash cams on hand, but another thing about I can't wait to get my own truck back so I can go back to normal life. Oh, anyway, it's kind of all that's been going on. You guys know I did live stream, I think, when I was back in my own truck temporarily. And I do plan to live stream some more. Not too frequently, but because I know the buffering that goes on is a big cause of frustration. I know, especially for me. Not to mention, I can give you better video quality by doing recorded videos. And also, I want to be able to interact with the cameras on recorded videos when I'm at customers, because these come in handy. Because sometimes when someone, like in our Facebook group that we have for our company, it's not unusual for someone to ask, "Hey, has anyone been to this particular customer before?" And like, yeah, not only have I been there, I can show you video of it, and I can send them the link to the video, even with the exact spot on the video to start focusing on, to give them a really good visual of how things work there. And I've actually gotten thanked by someone, a couple of people already, about from sharing some of this content. And it's also kind of why I have it on my channel. So those of you guys who are fellow truckers and might want to, I might not know about a particular customer, hey, you can look it up on my channel. If I've been there, and get, or I don't know, maybe someone else has it too, but you can at least find it on my channel if I've been there and get a much better idea of what to expect when you get there. So for that reason, I don't really want to be live streaming customers, pickups and deliveries. I'd rather use my multi-camera view kind of stuff for you guys. Not to mention, I like to focus a lot on backing related stuff because I get a lot of people on the channel who come to YouTube looking for tips on how to improve their backing. And a lot of times you just watch what someone else does, you can learn some little things. You just pay attention to different details, and it takes some practice, but it'll help you. It helps out a lot. So, and that's why I do those. Not to show off my backing skills, it's to help help a bunch of people who are new to the industry or want to come to the industry and want to, because I was that guy myself when I first got my CDL. Before I even got my CDL, I was looking online how to back and stuff. So I know if I'm doing it, and I already had really good skills with controlling the trailer, because my aircraft experience, towing airplanes so many times, I knew all about controlling the steering, not doing too much, and then being able to anticipate what it's going to do before it actually happens. So that translated extremely easily for backing for me personally, but setups were the problem for me. Now, getting taught and learning how to do them and then how to fix bad setups and stuff, those were still a challenge. They can still be a challenge sometimes. Nobody out here never has a problem with backing. I don't care how good you are at backing, you never know when you could learn something new. that could make your experience better. So like I said, I learned myself some tricks by watching YouTube, and that's why I post some of my own backing videos. So those of you guys who are in that same position can watch some of my backings and learn some tricks yourself, get tips or whatever. So, all right, so I'll be, like I said, I will be still streaming once in a while. Like I said, maybe not on a daily basis, but I'll try to do it every so often. I know, especially it's been popular demand for some of the you guys who I talk to regularly and friends with, whatever. The reason why I call why some people call me JCT Party Trucker, because I like to listen to music and jam out and all that. Ice 187 Lisa. I actually did order some strip lights for my truck, the kind that also um, has a microphone thing so that it can the lights can actually flash to the sound of the music, whatever. So when I do get back in my own truck, well, I think that's supposed to show up next week or something like that. Or um, yeah, I think it was later next week or something. I don't know that I'll. Don't think I'll be. I don't think I'll be able to pick it up. It'll be in the area at my house by the time I get home, or maybe even with my next load after picking up wherever it's going to be. But in the near future, I should have them. I'll just have to look at how to put them on and all that. I understand it's pretty easy though. But yeah, that's coming. Yeah, we'll do something with that. Probably not while I'm driving, but maybe while I'm parked, and just I might act all stupid or something. But don't expect me to dance. Okay. All right, but that's all I have. I'm gonna go get me some rest, and that way, as soon as my ton's up, I'll be ready to roll back to my house. All right, guys. Well, you guys all have a good night or day, whatever it happens to be when you guys decide to watch this. I'll see you guys all later, and keep you all tuned later. Yeah, stay tuned for more.